behind them to lead Henry Ford College to its brightest future. As you all know, community colleges are facing many challenges these days. That is why the new president needs our support as a community, board members, staff, and professionals, so we can face these challenges and overcome them together. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the Presidential Advisory Committee. I believe it was like 35 members for taking the time from their valuable family time to interview and choose the right candidates to lead our college. I can tell you that I was a member of this committee, and we had to spend like at least 3 weekends from 7:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening, interviewing and discussing. So it was a very tough job to do. Also, I wanted to thank the Dearborn Board of Education trustees for choosing Mr. Russell Kavalhuna to lead the college at this important and sensitive time. Our community, and I'm talking about the Arab American community and our community in general, but in particular, the Arab American community, is very committed to education. We strongly believe that education is at the roots of a successful society. In Dearborn Heights High School graduates this year have been awarded a total of over $60 million in scholarship funds. Many of these graduates will enroll at Henry Ford College. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Joe is here, Yusuf is here, he can attest to the fact that we have about 1,400 graduates from Dearborn alone, right, from the high schools. Correct. Now that we have a new president leading the college, Mr. Kavalhuna will have our full support as we welcome him and his family to Dearborn and our community. By the way, I would like to welcome the First Lady of Henry Ford College, Courtney Kavalhuna. One thing really we discovered this evening, that Russell Kavalhuna, his roots are Arabs. He came in late to the meeting. And that's a very good indication. And it's a ground for mutual, understanding. So next time when we come up to the meeting late, you can understand why. Like I said earlier, that the Board of Trustees have made the right decision and chose the right candidate to lead the college. I would like to thank all the Board of Trustees for their hard work and dedication to our students in the district and the college. And in particular, I'd like to thank the most senior member of the board for her strength, commitment, and service to Dearborn Public Schools and to Henry Ford College. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Trustee Mary Lane.
I'm going to be quick because Osama told me 2 minutes, and I kind of tremble anyways to get into recognizing people because this crowd has so many luminaries. I'm so impressed with so many of you that have really great credentials, so I'm not going to introduce people, just say a few short words. But on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I do want to welcome everyone. To me, this is a very important informal conversation, and these informal conversations really get things started, get all of our intellectual juices going with good results. So I would like to welcome you on behalf of the trustees, and we have a couple of them here. Fedwa Hamoud, my BFF on the board, if you don't mind me saying. I'm not sure, is there anybody else? Celia. Oh, Celia, of course. I know Celia was here. I'm sitting right next to her.
And Miriam, our past.
And we have 2 past trustees, Amy Shullis in the back.
Yeah.
And Miriam Webb. So give it up for them. Osama is amazing. When Fedwan and Osama tell me you need to do something, I'm like right there. So who else could put together an evening where you have good conversation and great food besides Osama on like 2 minutes notice? So thank you, Osama. I really think it's a great welcome to President Kavalhuna and his family to Dearborn and Southeast Michigan. And I can tell you that you will love Southeast Michigan. We're the arsenal of democracy. We're sitting astride an international border, the longest peaceful international border in the world, unless we have a trade war. But this is a really amazing place. And the city of Dearborn, I think everybody's going to agree with me, Dearborn is amazing. If the rest of the world could be like Dearborn, we wouldn't have to worry about a lot of things. And that's not to mention you're going to find we have absolutely fabulous food, so many cultural and educational institutions. You're going to love Dearborn. I hope you'll be here a long time. But as Osama said, we are at a unique time in our history. There are many stresses and there's much scrutiny on higher education. There are 4,800 approximately higher educational institutions in America that serve 21 million people and raise up 21 million people. So it's an important time. Now Forbes magazine is telling us that some of these institutions will go down in the next years. I know that everybody here hopes that Henry Ford College will not be one of those institutions, and we entrust our future in President Kavalhuna to make sure we're a better place and a vibrant place. So I, in 1 minute, will quickly introduce him. So here we go. I could just say he's the president, he's the future of Henry Ford College, but let me just give you a few little things which many of you know. I think he's a licensed pilot. He's also, let's see what else, former U.S. prosecuting attorney, which is a pretty amazing thing. For the people and by the people. I'll bet. Yeah, completely, yeah. University college director or dean or something similar to that. Okay. Yeah, I got close anyways. Also an accomplished pianist who's played Carnegie Hall multiple times. Yeah, and he's a Brazilian medievalist too. Okay, that's fake news. But his CV really is amazing. I mean, how many people combine all of those skills that are true skills? Not that many. I'm just saying myself, I hope he doesn't do Windows, because gosh, man, what doesn't he do? Concert pianist. So we're looking forward as a board to a long tenure. We're looking forward to great things at the college. We have a long history, almost 100 years. So let's extend that out and be successful. I hope that you will, I sincerely hope that everyone will welcome him and his family, as I know that we will. So give it up for President.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, we have one more speaker before we introduce our guest of honor. I wanted to take a few seconds to recognize elected officials. I know that we have many, not many, but some of this cabinet in here. Can you please stand up and be recognized, the cabinet? I'm sorry I don't have all your names. We have, like I said, elected officials in here, so I'll start with the Chief Judge for the Dearborn Court, Mr. Judge Sam Salami. And Gary Wonchak, Wayne County Commissioner and a candidate for State Senate. And I have to say it, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. Gary lost his dad a few days ago, and it was kept silent. He wants it this way, but I wanted to offer my condolences on behalf of our community and thank you for your friendship. Next one is Magistrate Hilal Farhad, giving quote. And next to Hilal is the youngest, was the youngest state representative in the legislature, in legislation in Michigan, Abdullah Hamoud. What are you right now? 27 years old? 28? 28. So you still have one person younger than you?
There's three.
The three? Well, we're going to take care of one. And he's going to take care of it. Randy Walker.
Can't talk about that publicly.
Randy Walker, mayor of, 5 times mayor of Garden City, and running for a state rep for the 11th district?
Yes, sir.
11th district. Next to him is the president and CEO of Garden City, my good friend, Garden City Hospital, my good friend, Sandy Joe. And continuing to introduce the officials, we have also Judge Gene Hunt from the Dearborn Court. And both judges are looking around saying who's clapping, who's not, because they'll see you in court soon. And of course, Police Chief Ron Haddad. And I shall not, will not, would not dare to forget our new magistrate, Ali Hamoud. And of course, the next speaker is one of those. Mariam? Mariam is here? And of course, the Honorable Judge, Mariam Bazi. And Amy told me not to mention her name. So, you know, I was waiting for John McDowell to show up. Let me introduce a former colleague of Mr. Kavalhuna and a leader in our community and a mover and a shaker and a very honest man, worked for 20 years plus for this community. He's my friend, and he is the founder of APAC, the Arab American Political Action Committee. And by the way, when people thank me for this dinner, the dinner is on behalf of the Arab American Public Affairs Council, and whose president is here, Muna Fadlallah. Where's Muna Fadlallah? Muna. I just steal the show, you know. They work and I take the credit for it. Let me introduce a former colleague, like I said, of Mr. Kavalhuna, Assistant U.S. Attorney Abir Hamoud, who has a long history of involvement in the Dearborn Public School. Please welcome to the podium, Mr. Hamoud.
Good evening. You know, before I get started, I have to make a comment on Osama for getting Mariam. It's interesting. Of course, you always forget the closest people to you, but more interestingly, I find people always know their district judges a lot more because they go there for their tickets. They're afraid of going there. They have their issues. And thank God that you never have to meet a circuit court judge unless you're a juror. So that's good, because if you get there, that's a bigger problem. So, Mariam, welcome, and I wanted to introduce you because Osama forgot you, that's why. It's with great pleasure that I welcome Mr. Kavalhuna, who I call us because he is a colleague, our former colleague, having been an assistant U.S. attorney. And I really want to welcome you to our home. And when we say welcome to our home in this community, in Dearborn in general, but the Arab community, we really mean it. You probably know this by now, and I have to tell you, everybody's going to invite you to their home. Don't think it's just saying it. They mean it, and you have to go, and you have to eat. So don't be surprised by the number of invitations you will get. Because when we like somebody, the first thing we do is bring them to our home. And our culture, breaking bread with somebody, has a lot of value. Has almost legal value to a certain point. So enjoy it as much as you can while we all love you and before the decisions start being made at the college. And this is one of the advantages of working here. The great people, the welcoming people, and the good food. Now, nobody warned you about any disadvantages, so I'm not going to do this tonight. But we know you're going to have some challenges. And thank God they're not many, because as Mary said, this is a great community and we have a great college. But the challenges you will face here, they're no different from the ones you face in your other positions. from the resume that Mary said, and I'm not referring to piano playing because I have no idea about that. You're going to have so many constituents and stakeholders when you do your job, organizations, individuals, and everybody's going to have their own interest, and they really all mean well, and they're all going to do it in their own way, and they're going to talk to you about what's best for the college and for Dearborn. And your job is going to be, how can I make them all happy? Because you're going to do this. It's no different for an assistant U.S. attorney who wants to give a good plea offer because that's what the interest of justice requires. But there's a victim there, there's a judge, there's a boss, there's a prosecutor. It's the same thing. So here, how can you pay the teachers what they deserve, the administrators what they deserve, at the same time be fiscally responsible? We know you're prepared for this, and we know that you know how to handle this situation, because at the end you're just going to do what's right. And sometimes people will be happy, sometimes they're not going to be happy. But you will be satisfied with the decision because you're going to make a decision that you can live with, like a pilot. Because in a pilot you make decisions that you literally have to live with, right? So this can be the same. So it's not going to be a stranger for you. This is different for you. Also, another warning I want to give you, called warning, quotation marks. My kids laugh when I do that air quotation because I think people my age should not do this. And I keep doing this because it makes me feel younger. By the way, Osama, thank you for calling Mary a senior, but not calling me that, even though I think I'm older than Mary. Right, Mary? So, because working for elected board of education, it's not going to be easy because they are politicians by nature, even though they try not to be. They get elected, they do politics. But we also know that you're used to working for bosses who are either politically appointed or elected, yet leave politics out, because that's what prosecutors do. Prosecutors leave the politics out, and they do what's right for the case, for the victim, for justice. So it's going to be tough for you at times, navigating the 7 board members, but we know you're equipped for this, and you're going to do what's right for us, for the students, for the citizens, for the college. We know you're prepared for this. Thus, I really want to welcome you to Dearborn. I'm going to warn you another thing, warning, quotation mark. Dearborn, it sounds like a big city, but really we're like a small village of 100,000 people. I grew up in a village in Lebanon. It doesn't seem any different here. Everybody knows everybody. Even if they don't know them or they act they don't know them, they know them. And we act like a family, so sometimes we have the family things, but at the end of the day, when we like somebody, welcome to our family. And we're all very proud to live in this community. And we like our family atmosphere. We like it. It is a unique environment. You will enjoy it for its goods and its challenges at times. And we really want you to be part of our family, and you and your family. And you're going to have our support because we know that sometimes we can help, and we want you to succeed because your success will be ours. So thank you for accepting this position. Thank you to the board for picking such a wonderful person, and for everybody who worked behind the scene and otherwise on the committees and others to make sure that the pick is great. I think we picked one of the best presidents this college will have, so good luck. Thank you.
It was much easier for me to go around and recognize everybody, because all of you are important. And I try to recognize only the elected officials and the people who are in official position. I know that earlier we had Matthew Schneider, who was the Assistant U.S. Attorney. And here is Judge Kurt Wilder. Should I answer him? No. Okay. But we have more honored guests I'd like to, recognize. We have Judge Richard Hathaway, who is here. He is a great prosecutor and a good friend, and we're happy to have you here. And also, former Judge Tony Guerrero. We have Wayne County Corporation Counsel, our own Zena Al-Hassan. And I can see Sam Baidoun waiting for Gary Wonchak to get up so he can take his seat. he is running to take the seat of Gary Wonchak, Wayne County Commissioner. So on August 7th, please go and vote for Sam Baidoun. That's not an endorsement.
Okay, I'm not gonna fix the pothole on Chase.
We have so many important people, like I said, the vice presidents of the college in here, and the former, the president, interim president is here also. I'd like to thank you for your leadership and for filling the vacuum, the dots. And let me now introduce the main event. I was waiting for John McDonald to come because I wanted to quote him in here, and I just.
I had some quotes for him too.
Yeah, well, John McDonald, is a good friend, and he worked very hard for the college. Not always we agree, and I am sure that we will not agree also on everything in the future, but we always respect what he does and he respects what we do. And I wish him well because he is sick and he was in the hospital and he wanted to come, and he called me and he said that he would be here at 7. So here is another Arab for you. The best case to describe how lucky we are to have a leader like Mr. Kavalhuna to lead Henry Ford College at this time is what a well-versed in the college business told me when he said that Mr. Kavalhuna is a pilot and a previous assistant U.S. attorney. In both cases, he has to be extra careful to navigate through difficult times and study his cases very well to prosecute them and win. Imagine a pilot, a reckless pilot. And imagine a failed attorney, prosecuting attorney. You will walk in court and he doesn't know what he is doing. And all of you who served on the committee, recognized, right, Tony, that Mr. Kavalhuna almost know the size of your shoes. If you were sitting on the committee, so he knew everybody and his brother and his sister, and when they were born, what they do, what they like to do on the weekend. So a person like this, Mr. McDonald's sentiment is true. That's what he told me. He said he cannot do many mistakes because he is a pilot and he is a former assistant U.S. attorney. I share Mr. McDonald's sentiments of Mr. Kavalhuna, and I add to that many of the characteristics of exceptional, humble leaders. It is my honor to introduce to you the president of Henry Ford College, Mr. Russell Kavalhuna.
Thank you, Mr. Sablani. I appreciate that generous introduction. Just to dissuade any of the fake news, I have no skills at piano. What was the other one, Trustee Lane? Something about
Brazilian.
Brazil. My father was born in Brazil, but that's the only attachment I have there. I do not have any Arab roots, however. I do now know that if you're going to buy 6 appliances, Courtney, it's going to take more than an hour at Lowe's in Dearborn. That is why I was late, and I appreciate you understanding that I'm purchasing all these appliances because my wife Courtney and I are excited to move into a home right by Howard Elementary School in your wonderful community. I thought what I might do here is tell you a little bit about myself, some of the things that are quite important to me. And then also give you an idea of why I'm so excited and frankly blessed to be part of your community and frankly have people say nice things about me that I really haven't earned yet. But that shows me that you're willing to give me a chance and I'm excited about that. As Osama mentioned, my wife and I are both Michiganders, and we have 2 little ones that are the apples of our eye. Miles is 5 and he'll start at Howard in kindergarten in September, and Samantha is 3. And Courtney was raised in Oakland County where her father was a pediatric dentist. And